My name is Kathy Ware, and I am the biological mom of Kylan Ware, and he is here today too, but I don't think you can see him. He's back here. Kylan's 26 years old. He has multiple and profound disabilities, and it's more described in my written testimony. So I have been trying to figure out Waiver Reimagine since I first heard the term, because I am always interested in how changes are going to affect my son. So I was home thinking, how on earth, as I've studied this information for a couple years, how do I cram 2 years worth of studying and learning into a 5-minute testimony? And so I'm a visual learner, so I had my buddy Bo, and I would refer you to page 3 of my written testimony. I had my buddy Bo make this for me, because they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so I'm afraid, senators. I'm very, very
Hold
afraid.
it a little closer, to be a little more close up. There you go.
I'm afraid that this is what is going to happen to my son. I love and adore Kylan, and so does his whole family. And he has lived at home with me his whole life, and I intend to always have him live at home with me. He's been fully included and integrated into his community since the day he was born. He was fully included in preschool, kindergarten, all the way up through high school. So this speaks volumes, and I just wanted this to be shown and looked at. So I have attended every possible stakeholder meeting for Waiver Reimagine. I've attended everything that has been offered, and I have tried to fully participate. I've tried to understand. I've asked questions. I've wanted to know the exact impact that these decisions and changes would have on Kylan's life. I have printed everything off of the department's Waiver Reimagine website, and I've gone through, taken notes, highlighted. I honestly am trying to figure this out. I ask questions. I have gotten some responses, but they are very vague and they're very generic. I have had an outstanding data practices request that I wrote and requested more information on Friday, June 26th of 2020 that remains unanswered today. The original letter. I'm terrified. This is what I'm terrified of, are these budget amounts. I'm terrified that the state of Minnesota, who created a moratorium on foster care so that we could implement the Minnesota Olmstead Plan, so that we can allow people like Kylan with profound physical disabilities and people on CAC waivers to live at home with the supports that they need. These budgets pay congregate care, which they're called residential support waivers, but they're congregate care waivers, right? So it pays them 2 to 3 times as much to provide Kylan with the exact same care that I already provide at home with him living with me. And with the CDCS plan that Kylan is on and his person-centered plan, we're able to actually get staff like Heather, who is dedicated to Kylan and to the life that we have for him. So I'm shocked that this is the budget proposal to pay congregate care settings 2 to 3 times as much as families providing the same care, better care, I would say, of course, prejudicially, because he's my son, right? I provide unpaid informal support much of the time. I Out of my own earned income, I pay for him to have medical cannabis, which helps with his seizures, his intractable pain, and his intractable seizure disorder. That has no payer source but my income. I have saved for the past 10 years because his van is a 2011, so out of my own earned income, I save for him to have transportation because we don't use an adult day program. Him and Heather go to our local Caribou and they have coffee and they visit in the neighborhood and they do things together inclusively during the day. So if Kylan was assigned a budget of H, under this, let's just say for an example, DHS would be paying foster care about $150,000 a year, but to keep Kylan at home with me, we would only have access to about $70,000 a year. I find that to be unacceptable. I find it to be an incentive for people to be put into congregate care facilities or corporate foster care facilities, which again, we're trying to avoid those. If possible. Independence, family living is the priority. I'm not sure how much more informal support that DHS and the department expects for families to be able to provide, because we're already doing that. I'm already doing that. I have a curfew of 9 p.m. every night unless I can get folks to stay a little bit later, and I can't usually leave my house till 7 or 7:30 in the morning until somebody gets there. And again, up in the night providing cares. So worse than incentivizing would be us being forced to use foster care. And that's where my little picture comes in, because I will do everything in my power to keep him living at home with me in a fully inclusive life. That has been my goal from the day I found out, excuse me, that my son had profound disabilities. I wanted the very best life I could provide for him. And I promise my tax-paying friends, I promise all of you senators, that we use that money wisely, and we use it to give him a beautiful life. And I frankly am scared to death that Waiver Reimagine is gonna mean him having to move out of my house and live in a congregate care facility. And I am begging you, I am pleading with you to not let that happen. I'm afraid. And when I get afraid, I get angry, and I might sound a little aggressive to some people, but I want him to be home with me, and that's what I need you to understand. You guys, I feel like from what I have read in the paperwork, and I'm sorry if I'm going a little over, I feel like these budgets are throwing the most physically dependent people sort of under the bus. And that's from what I can understand and gather from all of this paperwork that I have poured through. I don't feel like this has been a transparent process. I would like to also mention that. I don't feel like it has been open and honest. I believe that there is information being held back that we're not, that are not being shared with families like me. And I feel like this is a $2 million snowball rolling down a hill, right? And we've put this much money into it. Now we've got MnChoices 2.0 coming that this is going to feed off of. And it's rolling and it's gathering momentum and it's gathering more snow, and we're just going to be trampled underneath that snowball. So I'm begging you to stop that snowball and keep it from plowing us over. And let's just stop and take another look and answer the questions I'm asking. What does Waiver Reimagine do to Kylan Ware? What does it do to my family? That's what I want to know. Thank you, Senator Abler, and thank you, Senator Hoffman, from the bottom of my heart for being advocates for people with profound disabilities in the state. I appreciate it very much.